Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be showing you how to fill in your brows. So I'm coming at you without any brows right now so that you guys can see how to fill in your brows. This is also a brow tutorial for redheads, although any hair color can use this tutorial as well. The same techniques will apply. However, I'm going to be talking specifically about redheads and the different colors that I would recommend for us. Make sure you guys stay tuned to the end as well because I will be giving you a ton of alternative products that you can use for redhead brows. Because there's so many different colors of red, so many different colors of brows, and I know we all have our preferences, so I'll give you guys some tips on different colors you can use for your brows. So let's get into it. Alright, so my preference is always towards green beauty products, so I'm going to be using some green beauty options for you guys here. I'm going to be using this Ecobrow brow gel in the color Rita. This is for red hair, but more of a darker toned red hair. It's not for the caramel, lighter toned reds that some people do have. And then I'm also going to be using this Youngblood brow pencil. This is just a taupey color, so I'm going to be using this to fill in the brows at the front to keep it soft. If you don't have these specific products, don't worry. I will be giving you guys a couple different product alternatives at the end of this tutorial. So the first thing to keep in mind when filling in your brows then is that you want the front of the brow to be soft and the back of the brow is where you can have a little bit more of the pigment. For redheads, there are so many different colors of brows. Some redheads have, the red hairs, some have the more brown hairs. For myself, I do have blonde eyebrow hairs, so I do have a little bit of colored brow gel on them right now, just to kind of help them out for the camera. So let's say you do have darker brow hairs. You're gonna want the hair of the brow to be the feature. So you're gonna wanna go with products that are lighter than the hair of your brow so that your brow hairs can be the feature of the brow. It looks much more natural that way. If you're like myself and you have blonde eyebrow hairs, then you're gonna wanna take a colored brow gel or get your brows tinted. If you love having your blonde brows and you really don't wanna alter them in any way, you can of course go in and just do a powder over top as well. Because I have blonde brow hairs, it is just my preference on my own face to frame them a little bit darker. There are no hard and fast rules in makeup, and that's the beautiful thing about it. It really is your preference and how you wanna look. How you look presents yourself to the world, and it's an expression of you. So you guys do whatever you'd like. I'm just going to show you how I fill in my brows and how I fill in brows for the clients that I do in my freelance makeup artistry business. So okay, let's get into the tutorial. Alright, so first I'm going to be taking this Youngblood brow pencil, and this is a cruelty-free brand. I actually just bought this at London Drugs, so just the drugstore here. And I like this pencil because it also on the back of it has a little brow spoolie. So I'm going to be using this spoolie to just brush up the brow hairs. This is going to make sure you keep them all in place. And I'll do the same thing on this side. Just brushing them up. So remember that I do have brow gel in as well. I usually get them tinted, but I do not have them tinted at the moment. And then I'm just going to take this side of the brow pencil, and at the front of the brow, I am just going to line the bottom here. Just using really soft hair-like strokes. You want the front of the brow to be really light, and then I'm going to turn the pencil vertical, and I'm just going to do little hair-like strokes at the front of the brow here. I like to kind of press near the bottom and then flick up. And again, make sure that you are really light-handed and not going with the color that's too dark. And just here again, I'm just going to kind of line the front because you can see I'm taking the brow slightly more forward than it is naturally. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to line towards the back, just the bottom. And I'm going to give myself a little bit more of a tail here on the end. Take it down a little bit. And then I'll just do a couple hair-like strokes in the brows here. Lovely. And I'm just going to lightly kind of go through with the spoolie. Really light though, just to kind of diffuse it a little bit. And I'm going to do the exact same thing on this side. So first I'm going to line underneath the brow. Really, really light-handed. And take it back. Then at the front, again, I'm going to turn the brow pencil vertically. And I'm just going to push up, kind of putting pressure on the bottom and just flicking up. Trying to be kind of light-handed when I do this. So your brows are always sisters, not twins. So they will be slightly different. And I think that that's a good thing. That's just how faces are. And I think that's what makes faces interesting as well, honestly, is when they do have some differences. And again, I'm just going to line at the bottom. And flick up. So I think that's pretty even. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do some little hair-like strokes throughout the brow at the back here. And then next I'm going to take my Ecobrow brow gel in the shade Rita. This is for red hair, but keep in mind that this is for darker redheads. I have more of a reddy tone. If you have more of a caramel coppery tone, the shade's going to be way too dark. I'll show you guys here kind of the shade. So it's pretty dark, almost brown. I would say it's for auburn to deeper redhead tones. And I'm just going to tuck this hair here. And then I'm just going to keep this towards the back. You want all the darkness of the brows to be towards the back. So I'm just going to line the bottom here. And then just kind of work this product through the back of the brow. I'm just working off my hand. And I'm just doing little hair-like strokes. And I'll take a couple little strokes, little hair-like strokes towards the front as well. So that is the first brow. And then I'm just working off my hand and I'm going to grab a little bit more of the product. And same thing on this side. I'm just going to line at the bottom, underneath the brow. Just going to grab a little bit more product here from the Ecobrow. And I kind of just put some on my hand like this and I work from there. I like working from your hand with cream products because it kind of warms the cream products and makes it a lot easier to apply. And then same thing, I'm just going to go underneath the brow. Make sure you don't have too much of this product, it is very pigmented. Underneath the brow here. And then just some little hair-like strokes. I'm just going to do little strokes throughout the brow. At the back here, keeping all the color towards the back. And then same thing as I did on the other side, I'm just going to turn this brush vertically and do little hair-like strokes again at the beginning. You kind of want to space the strokes that you do so that you can see, so it looks more like brow hairs. You don't want to do them right on top of each other. So if you've made a mistake, all you have to do is go back over it with concealer. So if you guys have watched any of my tutorial videos, that's usually the step that I start with. I can link the tutorials below as well if you guys want to check out what that looks like. So if you made any mistakes or you made the brow thicker than you wanted to, all you're going to do is go in with concealer and kind of carve it out. As promised, I wanted to give you guys a couple different products that you could use for your red hair if you don't necessarily have as dark of hair as I do, or you prefer your brows a little lighter or even a little darker. So I really like using brow powders, and I like in my freelance kit to be using the Anastasia Beverly Hills brow powders. This is a cruelty-free product, however it is not a green beauty product. So if you're going to be putting this on your face every day, I 100% recommend a green beauty product. So you guys can find a lot of different companies like Hint Beauty. So I would just go on to whatever kind of green beauty online stores available in your country. If you're in Canada, I like using Socialite Beauty, I like using Ecodiva Beauty, and I also like using Clementine Fields. All of these companies have brow products that you guys can check out. So I like using any kind of a brow powder off the bat, and this can literally be an eyeshadow in a similar tone as yours. Also, Jane Iredale has a really nice brow pencil that I used to use every day as well until I ran out. And if you are interested in the Ecobrow products, they do not have, unfortunately, a lighter tone for redheads. Your only other option is to do the taupey shade, which if you have a coppery color hair, I think would be a little bit too cool toned for yourself, unfortunately. So my suggestion to you then is to use the Jane Iredale brow pencils, because they do have a shade for auburn hair and it is a lot more orangey toned, coppery toned, and I think that shade would look a lot nicer. If you are not concerned at all about green beauty and you are going to be using this product on your face for every day, Anastasia Beverly Hills, which is a cruelty-free brand, so they have the Brow Wiz pencils that you guys can use. They are great. If you have more of the coppery toned hair, they have a pencil that's fabulous for that called Caramel. And if you have more of this auburn shade, they do have a pencil called Auburn. If you like your brows a little bit more brown, they have a really good shade for redheads, which would be medium brown. You could also do chocolate, which would be a nice shade for redheads as well. The chocolate's going to have a lot of that warmth. If you guys do like the warmth in your hair, if you guys do like the warmth in your brows, which I definitely recommend for redheads, I think it looks great. Also, Anastasia Beverly Hills do have these brow powders as well, which is really, really good if you are a novice to filling in your brows. I like this shade Caramel for the light coppery tones. This one is the one I said Auburn for kind of my shade or more auburn shades. And then chocolate, you can see it also has the warmth. You'll just have to be cautious with chocolate because chocolate is going to make your brows quite dark. So be cautious to not fill in the entire brow using chocolate, and maybe just use chocolate to do the little hair-like strokes. You don't want your brows to just be blocks or to be too dark. So those are a couple brow products I recommend for you guys. I hope that this tutorial was helpful for you guys. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe so you guys don't miss any of my videos. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Have a lovely night.